will be releasing the 2025 PLE results for the candidates who sat last year in November. I think it was November 4th and 5th, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So today it's happening at 11. Which is right now at State House, Nakasero. That's where it's going to be happening. Jennifer Kalule, who is a spokesperson for UNEB, said that on Wednesday evening, of course, they had a meeting with the Minister of Education and Sports, and that is what informed today being the day for the release. Because they first informed the Minister of Education, Basomi Batia, Bakoze Batia. What we know is over 818,000 10 students or pupils were registered to sit for these examinations as compared to last year. Last year there were 794,444 candidates who sat for the exams. But this year we had more girls than boys sitting for PLE. We had, not sitting exactly, but registered to sit, because now UNEB and
different from registering and sitting for the exams.
Yes, because you may register and not show up. Yeah. So the ones who registered, the girls were more, 428,398 girls, and then 389,589 boys sat for this, were registered to sit for 2025. So I really wish that this continues, because primary, you'd have more girls. When you reach senior 4, you see the number of girls drop, and then by the time university, So we expect Amina Lale is there at State House, and she'll be giving us the details of how this is going to be happening. State Lodge, Nakasero. Now, besides that, yesterday there was a report that was released for actually a judiciary census on the number of cases. It's the national census or case census for the judiciary. It was released by the Chief Justice, Dr. Flavian Zeja, and also the principal judge, that is Bodo Francis, who was also formerly the DPP, and other officials within the within the judicial system and judicial circles. According to this report, the judiciary is stuck with 167,353 cases.
How many?
167,353 cases are pending in courts of law. These are various courts of law. The High Court of these cases, the High Court has 70,006 cases. The Chief Magistrate Court has 64,937 cases. Now, most of the cases are...
Uganda yona.
Judiciary. Cases yes, are 167,000. So there's people on remand. Nenga trial yawe tenabana kicking off. They just have those cases they have not even touched or handled at all. They are, of course, most of them have been arrested, some are on remand, some, because before you appear, before you even, your case is handled, you're first taken to court. Exactly. So the trial has not kicked off for most of these cases. Now, most of them are criminal. This is according to Chief Justice Flavian Zeja. He says criminal cases are more than civil or even land cases. There are 65,709 cases, criminal capital offenses. And then civil cases are 44,911. Land cases are 33,000.
Land
496. And actually, he was explaining that these cases cost the government 14 trillion. 14 trillion shillings. So there's 14 trillion worth of active cases that have not been handled by the court system. And according to Chief Justice Flavian Zeja, he was trying to explain that people do not know the gravity of this situation, because the courts themselves also play a role in the economy. He was giving an example of land. For instance, if there's a land case in court and investors come acquire this land, it's in court, it is taking 10 years without being handled. That investor is disenfranchised, is frustrated, and they will not come back, or they will not even advise their friends to come and invest here. Yeah.
Central region reports the highest backlog with 16,224, while the Northern region has the lowest backlog at 3,950. Apparently, the public out there do not know that judiciary is a significant contributor to economic development. If an investor comes here and buys a piece of land and it takes 10 years for the case to resolve and yet the money is tied up in that dispute, that investor will not encourage another investor to come here. So we are a very big stakeholder, and that is why we must always get budgetary increments to be able to deliver on our mandate.
Okay, kasita kitegedde nti cases ezo eza land naddala eza land nti zikostinga government sente nyingi, so I hope they resolve the case.
But also just down to you and me, if you are an ordinary citizen who wants access to quick justice, it doesn't seem fair for you.
Yeah.
And the question is, where is the exact problem? Is it with the fact that people are arrested, there is not enough evidence collection delays at the security level? Is it that the judicial officers do not know how to properly handle these cases? For instance, if you have been caught with a petty offense of maybe driving carelessly on the road, nebakusiba for 6 months, you get, shouldn't there be an alternative, effective management of the cases that maybe bakutwala community service, and then you know that will reduce even the cost of prison, having to take care of you know, of you as well. So I don't know, it is a whole cycle of, you know, because we can't only blame the judiciary and say abakoti bali batini, that maybe the judicial officers are few. You look at also the police where the case is being reported. Some of these cases, do they actually need anyway? It is a whole long process. Now, let's just pray for our country that, you know,
nga bwazze nga bamuwadde obuyinza ensonga zonna tulabe nga asobola ozisolvinga. He can't do it in just 1 year or so,
and alone.
But yes, and alone naye asobola okufuna structure entuufu n'agamba okay, engeri emisango wogisomya, I can't even remember the number because mingi, n'agamba okay, this month let's do 2 land, 2 criminal, 2 civil, oba okitegedde, like that. Okay, anyway, let's wait for his plan, because I don't think amagezi gafa ayinza ogatwala.
So, okay, now yesterday plenary convened. Parliament convened, chaired by the Speaker, and the leader of opposition was in the House. That's Joel Senyonyi. Senyonyi was expressing concern, especially about the statement that was made by the Minister for ICT and National Guidance early this week. I think it was on Wednesday, when he talked about Bobby Wine, the reason why there's heavy security deployment at the residence of Bobby Wine. Now, Senyonyi was asking the minister, actually in the floor of Parliament, he was questioning whether it is criminal for someone to stand against a sitting president. And then he was also asking, why is there heavy security deployment at the residence of Kyagulanyi in Magere? Why can't they leave him alone? He has finished campaigning, they are hunting for him and all that. Now, we have a response from, actually, this is Senyonyi asking, and then the response from the Minister for ICT.
Honorable Speaker, yesterday his siblings tried to access his home. After the minister again said, no, all is well, people can access. His siblings went there yesterday. And police officers, several of them deployed there, they said, we don't have authority to allow anybody to access this place. I want to know, is it official that the Honorable Kyagulanyi Sentamu Robert is under house arrest?
Deployment at his home, not to harass anybody, but for Ugandans not to use the home as a public disorder hub for purposes of security, their security interests. And therefore there is some access control. Because again, also when the head of the home is not there, you wouldn't want the whole crowd of Ugandans just swam there. So there's some control, but harmless. So, leader of opposition, your leader is not wanted by the state, and advise him to be at home, provided he doesn't engage in law breaking. There is no problem with that.
Okay.
So one of the reasons why they'll be giving him security is because the head of the home apparently is not at home. So they think that Babi and the family need that security, which is harmless, according to Chris Barry-Monsi. And he's also saying he's not being hunted for. Let him come back. So in other words, Kyagulanyi is running on his own. So he's playing his own game.
Yes, according to
Barry-Monsi. And other security, because even we've had Chris Magezi, who is spokesperson for UPDF, also saying the same thing, that us as UPDF, we are not looking for Kyagulanyi. So
kati ffe tumunoonye oba
he said himself
Bonga
Njakudda. I'll come
Hey.
back when I'm you've not seen those videos where he says I am here. Last time I was in Mukono, I was where Njakudda.
The Mid-Morning to Corner with Flora Shaw, 100.2 Galaxy FM.
Zina.